Welcome back, history enthusiasts. We're commencing our journey through the eras of the Roman Empire. Today, we dive into the first era, the transition from the Roman Republic to the early empire. This period laid the groundwork for one of the greatest civilizations in history. Grab your imaginary toga and let's step back in time. Imagine a bustling city on 7 hills by the Tiber River. Rome wasn't built in a day, as the saying goes. Long before the empire, Rome was a republic, a system where power was shared among elected officials called consuls, and a senate of wise elders advised on matters of state. But as Rome grew from a small village to a vast territory stretching across Italy and beyond, cracks began to appear in this republican ideal. Our story picks up in the late Republic, a time of great generals and ambitious politicians. Picture Julius Caesar, a brilliant military leader with a flair for drama. He crossed the Rubicon River with his legions, defying the Senate's orders and declared himself dictator for life. Veni, vidi, vici, he famously said, I came, I saw, I conquered. Caesar reformed the calendar, built grand public works, and expanded Roman citizenship, but his power made enemies. On the Ides of March in the theater of Pompey, a group of senators, including his friend Brutus, ended his rule with daggers. Et tu, Brute? The betrayal shocked Rome. Chaos followed Caesar's death. His adopted heir Octavian, a young man of sharp intellect, teamed up with Mark Antony and Lepidus to form the Second Triumvirate. They hunted down Caesar's assassins and divided the Roman world among themselves. But alliances crumbled. Octavian clashed with Antony, who had fallen for the enchanting Egyptian queen, Cleopatra. Their romance was legendary. Think lavish banquets on golden barges along the Nile. Yet, at the Battle of Actium, Octavian's fleet crushed theirs. Antony and Cleopatra met tragic ends, and Octavian stood alone as Rome's master. In a clever move, Octavian renamed himself Augustus, meaning the revered one. He claimed to restore the Republic, but really he became the first emperor in disguise. Augustus brought peace after years of civil war. He reorganized the army into professional legions loyal to him, built roads that connected the empire, and sponsored arts and literature. Poets like Virgil wrote epics praising Rome's destiny, with lines like Tu regere imperio populos, Romane memento. Remember, Roman, to rule the peoples with authority. Under Augustus, the empire began to flourish. He boasted that he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. Temples gleamed, aqueducts brought fresh water, and the forum buzzed with activity. But life wasn't all grandeur. Farmers toiled in fields, slaves worked in households, and women like Livia, Augustus's wife, wielded influence behind the scenes. As the era progressed, emperors like Tiberius and Caligula followed. Tiberius was stern and reclusive, retreating to his villa on Capri. Caligula, oh boy, he was eccentric. Rumor has it he tried to make his horse a consul. Then came Claudius, who expanded the empire to include Britain, and Nero, infamous for fiddling while Rome burned in a great fire. Nero rebuilt the city with wide streets in his golden palace, but his tyranny led to revolt. The year of the 4 emperors brought more turmoil. Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian vied for power. Vespasian, a practical man, started the Colosseum, that massive arena for gladiatorial games and public spectacles. His son Titus completed it and dealt with the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which buried Pompeii in ash, preserving a snapshot of Roman life. By the time of the 5 good emperors, Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius, the empire reached its peak. Trajan conquered Dacia, bringing gold to fund grand projects like his column, etched with battle scenes. Hadrian built his famous wall in Britain to keep out northern tribes and traveled the empire, admiring Greek culture. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher-emperor, wrote meditations on Stoicism while defending borders from Germanic invaders. This era wasn't just about conquest, it was about innovation. Romans engineered aqueducts that carried water over valleys, heated baths with underfloor systems, and created concrete that allowed domes like the Pantheon. Daily life included bread and circuses, free grain and entertainment to keep the people happy. Yet shadows loomed. Commodus, Marcus Aurelius's son, ended the golden streak with his gladiator obsessions and corruption. The Severan dynasty tried to stabilize things, with Septimius Severus advising his sons to enrich the soldiers and ignore the rest. As we wrap up this era, remember, from republic's ashes rose an empire that would shape the world. Join us next time for the height of Roman glory. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more ancient adventures. What was your favorite part of the early empire? We would love to hear from you, so please comment below.